Second language learner always make errors. हामी भाषा सिक्दाखेरि के गर्छौं त we always make error in language मा we always make error. हामीले error किन गर्छौं? There are some reasons behind it. Sometimes due to overgeneralization, lack of knowledge, bilingual situations, less exposure to language, loss of habit नभएको कारणले गर्दा why people make errors. Second language learners make many errors because we depend on grammar translation methods. What are the causes of error? हामीले किन second language learners make why do पहिलो कुरा हामीले गरौँ why do second language learners make error. हामीले भाषामा किन एरर गर्छौं त? Why do second language learners make error? Second language learnerले किन गल्ती गर्छन्? While learning any second language, we come to make error. We cannot use language appropriately and correctly. Second language learners cannot master, or people cannot master second language. It is so tough. Language learners cannot master. पहिला हामीले के भन्यौ त? Language learners cannot master second language. First language acquisition is natural process. First language acquisition is a natural process. पहिलो भाषा चाहिँ के हो त भन्दाखेरि पहिलो भाषाको सिकाइ चाहिँ first language acquisition is a natural process, whereas जहाँसम्म कि second language learning is an artificial. Second language learning is an artificial process. People cannot learn second language. Language learners cannot master second language, and first language acquisition is natural process, whereas second language learning is an artificial process. Second language learn गर्ने भन्ने कुरा it is always artificial process. You cannot learn second language because second language किन जानिदैन? मलाई नेपाली सबै आउँछ. I know Nepali clearly. I learned Nepali language in social cultural relationship. I learned it in natural way. But whenever I try to learn English language, I had to be dependent on either translation method or I need some kind of instruction by other people. It means that first language acquisition is natural process. You learn it slowly and gradually. In the process of your socialization, you came to acquire first language. But whenever we talk the second language learning is an artificial process. It is a secondary process. It needs instructions, it needs guidance, it needs special training, and it needs feedback, it needs correction, and all these things. Second language learning मा हामीलाई के चाहिन्छ त भन्दा second language learning र acquisition फरक हो. Second language learning को लागि we need second language learning को लागि second language. Use second language को लागि first second language. Second language learning भनेको मैले के भने तपाईहरुलाई भन्दा it is an artificial process. It is artificial. It needs guidance, instruction, training, correction, and guidance. It needs guidance, instruction. Sometimes you need correction, you need feedback, you need rules. तपाईलाई नियम चाहिन्छ, rules. त्यसपछि exercise, practice, habit development, regular involvement, and forceful memory. Regular involvement, and you also need forceful memory. तपाईलाई forceful memory चाहिन्छ. सेकेन्ड भाषा सिक्न चाहिँ यति कुराहरु चाहिन्छन् कि otherwise you can't learn second language. Why can't we learn second language? मैले अब जर्मनी भाषा सिक्न गए भने के हुन्छ? I can't use German language. I cannot speak in German language. I cannot make a sense of German language. It means that whenever you are trying to learn any particular second language, you need special guidance, you need instruction, you need correction, you need feedback from seniors or language experts. You need to know rule. You need to exercise it on a regular basis. You need to practice grammar activities or language activities. You need to develop a habit in second language. You need to involve yourself in case of using that language, or you need to have forceful memory. That's why second language learning is always a complex process, and we cannot have final level of competence in second language. There is no doubt you have achieved almost higher level of competence in your first language. We don't doubt your level of excellence regarding the first language, but whenever we talk about the second one, second language learning is always a process. There is no final point. You need to labor hard on it. You need to work hard. You need to put on some efforts. Only then you become capable to learn second language to some extent, but you cannot master it. It takes a very long, complicated process, and second language learning is sometimes dependent on your first language. That's why there are so many conditions, there are so many cultural conditions, linguistic barriers, and other kind of environmental situations that impact the process of second language learning. That impacts the process of second language learning. Now say, why we can't use, what are the causes of errors in second language learning? What are the causes of errors in second language learning? Let me tell you what causes of error in second language. Means while in second language learning, you need guidance, you need instruction, you need correction, you need feedback, rules, exercise, practice, habit development, regular involvement, and forceful memory. Now see here. What are the causes of error in second language learning? Causes of error in second language learning. Causes of error in second language. Causes of error in second language. Now let's talk about this issue. Why we first one is because of first language interference. What is the first prime or major cause of error in second language learning? That is first language acquisition. First language, interference. Because of first language interference, because of intervention of the first language, the intervention caused by first language, you cannot make a sense or you cannot understand the second language. First language definitely puts some impact. It comes to impact your second language learning process. Nepali ra Angrezi ma pani you see the difference over there. And you try to learn second language on the ground of translation. Having memory of Nepali language, keeping Nepali sentence structure, and being concerned with Nepali language, you try to learn second language until and unless you become capable to think in English language or you become capable to think in second language. You cannot learn the second language one, because many people, they depend on translation. Even while speaking in English language, we know that many teachers, many lecturers, and many language users, they think sentences in Nepali language and they try to translate it while having verbal expressions or written expressions. That is the first cause of language error. You don't understand English language the way it is structured. You don't understand any second language the way it is the way it is there. You don't try to learn the rules of second language the way that is there. It means that when we are taught second language, we are taught it on the ground of first language. When you learn something on the ground of something, when you learn something on the foundation of something, when you learn something on the base of something, then you cannot forget its impact. That is the first language interference is the first cause. Next one is cultural differences. Because of cultural differences, language, what is one of the features of हामीले सोशियोलोजी पढ्दा के पढ्यौं ब्याचलर मास्टर्समा language continues culture. Language reflects culture, and language is the reflection of culture of people who use it. Language is not in isolation from culture. Every language embodies the cultural practices of particular society. Your human behavior, your way of thinking, your attitude, your manner, your social structure, everything that is reflected in language. That's why we can't see and we do not see language in isolation from social and cultural system of a particular social group. Now you have to see that cultural differences. The culture of Nepali language and the culture of English language, these two things that do not match. Because of cultural differences, you cannot use the language in right way. In right way, there are many differences. We don't know the exact English words. We don't know how to use particular word at what time and in which place. We often find ourselves in a bit confusion, where to use it, how to use it. Is it applicable or not? Is it appropriate or not? In language, we always worry about the two concerns. One is correctness and appropriateness. Sometimes something looks correct, but it turns out to be incorrect one. That's why cultural differences also cause error in language learning. That is one thing. Next one is hasty generalization. Sometimes you come to learn one rule and you try to apply it in every case. एउटा नियम जानिसकेपछि त्यसलाई सबैतिर एप्लाई गर्न नखोज्नुस्. Whenever you came to learn a particular rule, don't try to use it in every place. विद्यार्थीहरु के गर्दिन्छन् भने once they learn one rule, once they come to understand a particular rule, they always come to use it every place. But in language, there are so many exceptions. Language मा धेरै exceptions हुन्छ. In language, there are so many exceptions. जस्तो normal exception त हामीसँग tag question मा पनि छ. I am a dancer. Now see here. I am a dancer. This is pronoun, first person pronoun I, first person singular indicating pronoun. Am is an auxiliary verb. I am a dancer. Actually, on the ground of rule, am and I. यसको हुनुपर्ने के थियो त भन्दाखेरि am and I is the correct. Am and I is the correct question tag, but we don't use it because of convention, because of traditional practice. यसको tag question के हो त aren't I हो. त्यसैले every time rule, every time grammar structure, and every time the developed practice doesn't work in language. In language, there are so many exceptions, and if you are unaware of those exceptions of language, you cannot understand second language and you come to have errors. Sometimes I am a dancer, and the question tag form of I am a dancer, it is not amn't I. It turns out to be aren't I, and there is a continuation of tradition of aren't I. You cannot break it. You cannot use it in this way. Amn't I गरेर हामीले यसलाई use गर्न सकेनौं. त्यसैले I am a dancer को के हो त यो aren't I नै भयो. त्यसैले कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ if you come to have quick generalization, if you come to have hasty generalization, if you try to apply one particular rule in every cases, or sorry, in every case, you cannot learn second language. That's why hasty generalization, or many people they become the victim of generalization, and when you become the victim of generalization, you cannot learn language. This is one of the causes of error. We call it hasty generalization. Another is burden of rules. We have burden of rules. Burden of rules. We cannot master all the rules. The trouble is that whenever you learn your first language, whenever you acquired the first language, you learned it in a natural way. You learned it during the process of socialization. You learned it in your family, among relatives and other people. But whenever you try to learn second language, you try to learn it, you try to memorize it, you try to practice it, and you try to use it on the ground of those rules. You need to master all the rules. You need to practice all the rules. You need to have memory of all those rules that are available in particular language. Because of the burden of rules, त्यो रुल्सहरुको भारले गर्दा, because of the pressure of rules, because of the burden of rules, people cannot feel comfort. People do not feel comfort while using any second language. Even after teaching English for a long period of time, you don't feel happy using English language. Sometimes you feel yourself in confusion. Am I using it in a right way or not? You don't feel happy with your English language, though you came to learn English language for more than 20 years. It means that we never ever master the rules. We don't know how many rules of sentence structures are over there. Because of language is always creative. In language, there are indefinite number of sentence structure. Language is creative one, language is systematic one, and language has to be common. On one hand, language must be common and universal. On the other hand, language has indefinite possibilities in its sentence structure, in its expansion and development. That's why, because of the burden of rules, we cannot learn it that way. Next one is incompetencies, or we cannot. Next trouble से के हो त भन्दाखेरि exceptions. Because of exceptions, we cannot understand. This पछि incompetence to master all rules. We are not competent enough to master all the rules. Incompetencies are incompetence to master all the rules over all the rules of language. Next one is, there are some multiple meanings of the same word. Multiple meanings of the same word. Because of multiple meanings of the same word, you cannot understand it. That's why language learning or second language learning, it is always a problematic one. We cannot master second language learning. Second language learning is always a problematic one. And because of cultural difference, because of exceptional rules, because of history generalization, and because of over generalization, sometimes you come to generalize it in a random way. You learn one rule and you come to apply it in every other cases. And next one is over generalizing. You apply the same thing everywhere. That is over generalizing. That's why hasty generalizations and over generalization, these are the two different conditions. कहिलेकाहीँ हामी sentence पढ्दाखेरि पनि हेरौँ न, you know it, त्यसलाई example दिँदाखेरि पनि हामीले अर्को भन्छौँ over generalization. Over generalization is also a case. मैले तपाईलाई grammar पढाउँदा भनेको छु, I told you about it. Over generalization is a case. यही वाक्य हेरौँ त, she has a house. Make it negative one. She has a house. She has a house. This has is functioning as verb 5 here. It is functioning. It means that she doesn't have a house. She doesn't have a house. अब यही कुरालाई now see here. यही वाक्यलाई she has played a game. She has played a game. Now see here. In this case, has is followed by past participle verb. यो has चाहिँ verb 3 ले followed गरेको छ. Has is followed by past participle verb. यो verb 3 ले followed गर्यो. त्यसैले यो has के हो? Has is here as an auxiliary. She has not played a game. She has not PLAYD. She has not played a game. Now you must know that. Now see the difference here. अब विद्यार्थीले के गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने कहिलेकाहीँ सर यो HAS has, this has and this has. There you have two HAS has. On one hand, this has is functioning as an auxiliary verb. In this case, this HAS has is followed by verb 3. It is past participle. In our language, it is a verb 3. When it is followed by verb 3, it is definitely an auxiliary verb. त्यसैले यहाँ हामीले has not गर्यौं. तर यो HAS has भनेको के हो त? It is a verb 5. त्यसैले she doesn't have a house. She has not a house. यो त we don't use in here. कहिलेकाहीँ ब्रिटिश अमेरिकनमा we see the difference. त्यसैले ल्याङ्ग्वेजको केसमा के हुन्छ भने if you learn one thing, it doesn't mean that there is only one rule. Language learning is a complex process. We never master all the rules of language. Language is a complex system, and because of the complexity of language, because of the cultural differences, because of cultural association of language, because of first language acquisition, and because of translation method, and because of our dependency on bilingual situation, we often come to make error. Errors happen because of lack of knowledge and because of having no knowledge in rules. If you don't know rules, if you don't know any knowledge, error भनेको के हो भन्दाखेरि थाहा नभएर गल्ती पार्नु. If mistake is committed in absence of knowledge, if mistake is committed in absence of proper knowledge on rules, we call it error. Mistake भनेको चाहिँ के भने you know but you came to do it. That is a particular mistake. But in case of error, you don't know something, you don't have idea, you don't have knowledge, and you don't have information, and you have not practiced it. That's why you are making a mistake. If you make a mistake in absence of knowledge, it turns out to be an error. That's why error को केसमा के रहेछ त भन्दा these are. अब हामी कुरा गरौं what are the areas of errors in second language learning. अंग्रेजी बोल्दाखेरि हामीले के गल्ती गर्छौं त? Areas of mistakes in second language learning. Areas of mistakes in second language learning. अब कहाँ गल्ती पार्छौं हेर्नुस् है. Areas of mistakes in second language learning. Areas of mistakes in second language learning. In which areas a particular language learner comes to make error, comes to have error. Now see here. Areas of mistakes, or sorry, errors, not mistakes, errors. We are talking about error. Areas of error in second language learning. First one is I am a Nepali boy. म एउटा नेपाली केटा भए. Let's say I don't know, either I know English or not. मलाई अंग्रेजी त्यति धेरै नआउला. Let's say हैन. अब मैले कहाँ गल्ती हुन सक्छ? कहाँ मेरा एररहरु हुन सक्छन्? त्यो एररका एरियाजहरु के हुन्? In pronunciation, in syntax, in use of vocabulary, in pragmatics, in semantics, or in syntactic syntax. Well, sometimes I don't know word spelling. Sometimes I find myself in confusion regarding morpheme, pronunciation, sound pattern, morpheme, word, syntax, semantics, and next one is pragmatics. These are the different levels of linguistics. In all these levels of linguistics, a particular second language learner is likely to make error, is likely to have error. That's why the first area of that is pronunciation. We cannot pronounce the second language exactly as it is pronounced by native speaker. Pronunciation. In pronunciation, we have problem. We cannot match the actual accent. We cannot follow the rhythm of second language. We cannot practice rhyme here. We cannot match the pitch here. We may have trouble regarding stress, and we may have trouble intonation. Regarding intonation, you may have trouble. While using second language, while using English language, we have trouble. We are likely to have trouble in the areas of accent, ACCENT. We are likely to have trouble in the areas of accent, rhythm of reading, rhyme, the similar sound at the end of poetic lines, pitch, sound scale, that is stress, intonation, word stress, sentence stress, and the tempo of reading and the music of reading, because by nature English language is rhythmic one. By nature English language is rhythmic one, and we need to maintain the flow of reading. We need to maintain the music of reading, and we need to maintain a particular rhythm that has been put in a particular sentence. That's why in the area of pronunciation, second language learner, they do have troubles. They have trouble one. And the next one is, now you have to say, the second one is, okay, second one is, after pronunciation, we have trouble. Word spelling. Word spelling. Error in spellings. Error in spelling. We find ourselves in trouble while using spelling. अंग्रेजीमा समस्या धेरै हुन्छ हेर्नुस्. Singular, plural, noun, pronoun, verb, adjective. There are so many things, and we have trouble knowing spelling rules. अब कतिपय विद्यार्थीहरुलाई बुझ्न गाह्रो हुन्छ. एडमिट लाई किन एडमिट को verb 3 किन एडमिटेड भयो? ADMITTED. Why you came to double? Why you came to repeat T here? Admit is converted into admitted. CUT is converted into CUTTING. But why don't you repeat WRITTING? Why is there no TTING? Use putting PUTTING. But why is there no WRITTING? It means that sometimes we find ourselves in confusion regarding spellings. Sometimes we have trouble in pronunciation. CHALK chalk, CHALK chalk. CH कहिलेकाहीँ चको साउन्ड भयो. CHALK chalk. CHARACTR character, character. यो character भयो, character भयो हैन. अब यही साउन्ड फेरि CHE अब CHEF सेट. यही च कहिलेकाहीँ स बन्छ, कहिलेकाहीँ क बन्छ, कहिलेकाहीँ च नै बन्छ. CHALK chalk, CHARACTR character, CHEF set. अब यो आवाज कस्तो हो? हामी कहिलेकाहीँ कन्फ्युजनमा किन पाउँछौँ त भन्दा we are second language learner. We don't know how to pronounce it. अब हामीले यहाँले TURE नेचर. अब कहिलेकाहीँ तपाईहरु जोकहरु पढ्दाखेरि सुन्नुहुन्छ फुचुरे FUTURE फुचुरे भन्दा पनि त ठीक छ नि. यो कसरी फुचुरे भयो? हामीले किन जान्दैनौं? साइकोलोजी. While having or while pronouncing the word psychology, अब यसलाई P psychology भन्ने कि के भन्ने? It is psychology over here. त्यसैले अब आजकल हामीले याचो यानी यस्ती honest यो हाम्रो आवाजबाट याचो यानी यस्ती honest we pronounce it. तर विदेशीहरुले अंग्रेजीले के भन्छन्? You can't say honest, you have to say honest. That's why we second language learner, we have many troubles regarding we often have errors in pronunciation. We don't know how to pronounce each English word. In English language, there are supposed to have more than 5,54,000 words. And out of those 5,54,000 words, we might have hardly practiced some 60 to 70,000 words. And how can we master the pronunciation and accent and word stress? We have a trouble. We cannot understand second language in this forceful way, in this artificial way. Second thing is word spelling. We often have error in the areas of word spelling. And third one is we have trouble regarding morpheme. Morpheme is the smallest part of word. Morpheme is the smallest unit of word that cannot be further split. What is morpheme? What is morpheme then? शब्दको सबैभन्दा सानो इकाइ जसलाई अब टुक्रा गर्न मिल्दैन lucky in this word you have double morpheme luck plus y. This y is a suffix here. This is a suffix and lucky lucky. It means that you have two morphemes. And sometimes we second language learner, we don't know the morpheme. We cannot understand the value of word formation. We cannot understand the practice of word formation. We don't know the history of word. We don't know the development process of word. And we don't know deviation in word meaning. Sometimes the meaning of word it changes. कहिलेकाहीँ शब्दको अर्थ चेन्ज भइदिन्छ अनि हामी सेकेन्ड ल्याङ्ग्वेज लर्नरहरू we don't understand it. It means that जस्तो इङ्ग्लिशमा एउटा word छ GAY गे भन्ने word छ. During 17th century or 18th century, गे means के थियो? It was excited, elated. खुसीलाई हामी गे भन्थ्यौँ. अहिले हामीले गे भनेर के भन्छौँ? A homosexual man. A homosexual man who has no interest in female sex. That person is called GAY gay. Now see the difference over there. सुरुमा अंग्रेजीमा interaction र intercourse भन्ने शब्द almost they were similar in their meaning. Interaction means a kind of discussion or two-way communication between or a group of people. That is interaction. तर intercourse भन्ने शब्द छ. The word intercourse it indicates sexual relationship. Intercourse refers to sexual relationship. त्यसैले हामीले के गर्छौं त भन्दाखेरि ल्याङ्ग्वेज को बिगर प्रब्लम इज why we Nepali people, why we Nepali students, why we English teachers as well, we cannot master English language. The problem is related also in the area of morpheme. We don't have the structure of word development. अहिले पनि धेरै प्रोफेसरहरूले टिचरहरूले के भन्नुहुन्छ भने रिसर्च भनेको री प्लस सर्च, पुनः अनुसन्धान गर्नलाई रिसर्च भनिन्छ. बट आई डोन्ट थिंक इट इज सो. The definition of research is something else, but the teacher they come to break the word research into two morphemes, and they say that when you do a research in a repeated way, it becomes, when you do a search in repeated way, it becomes research. But it is not so. The word formation of research is something else, but people came to misunderstand the concept of morpheme, and they have come to define research in this way. That's why sometimes we don't understand the word meaning. Sometimes we don't understand the process of derivation. We don't understand the process of suffix and prefix. We don't understand how a particular word comes into existence. If you don't understand the word existence, you have a trouble. त्यसैले morpheme भनेमा we also make error in morpheme. हामीले morpheme मा पनि के गर्छौं? एरर गर्छौं. अर्को एरर भनेको चाहिँ we have error. अब कहाँ भाषा गल्ती गरिन्छ भनेर सोध्यो भने morpheme, syntax, next one is semantics, next one is pragmatics and language functions. Sometimes we can't use appropriate structure for appropriate conditions. Language functions, and we also have trouble for form function relationship. We second language user form functions relations, we don't understand it. This is form functions relations. कहिलेकाहीँ हामीले अब यो what is form function relations sir भन्नु होला. Let me explain it. Morpheme means these are the areas of error in second language learning. We second language learners, we do not understand pronunciation, and we cannot have correct pronunciation. We cannot meet the actual standard level of accent, pitch, stress, intonation, and all these things while using English as second language. Second one is I talked about spelling rule. We often find ourselves in confusion and big trouble regarding spelling rule. म कहिलेकाहीँ तपाईलाई पढाउँदाखेरि स्पेलिङ मा कहिलेकाहीँ कन्फ्युजन हुन्छ नि. किन? Sometimes I find myself in confusion. Sometimes we find ourselves in a big trouble. Is this correct spelling or not? Sometimes your memory power doesn't work. Sometimes your hand comes to write something else. Sometimes you speak one thing, but you come to write something. We call that language aphasia. But the concern is that sometimes you have a trouble over here. Syntax means sentence meaning. कहिलेकाहीँ हामीले sentence बोल्न जान्दैनौँ, लेख्न जान्दैनौँ. I am I am 5 feet. I am 5 feet long. Is this the correct one? Kholapo, when something is measured on horizontal basis, it becomes long. तर vertical basis मा कुनै पनि कुरा measurement गरियो भने it becomes height. I am 5 feet long. This is an incorrect sentence. This is an incorrect sentence because in the place of height or high, you came to use the word long or length. I am 5 feet long. It is wrong one. यो के हो त भन्दा गल्ती हो. जस्तो I eat water. म पानी खान्छु. Now see here, I eat water. Sentence is grammatically correct. Subject, verb one, object. But culturally or because of tradition, I eat water, it is a wrong sentence because we associate it with solid food. But here you have liquid. When there is liquid in a sentence, you have to use drink in the place of eat. It is another trouble. While making syntax as well, while making sentences, we have a trouble. कहिलेकाहीँ हाम्रो यस्तो पनि समस्या हुन्छ. कहिलेकाहीँ odd order related problem पनि हुन्छ. I wear a red long jacket. Now see here, the sentence is here you find trouble. I wear a red long jacket. Now see, adjective order is you are in confusion regarding the order of adjective. I wear a long red jacket. This is the correct word. So you sentence ke ho ta incorrect word. You cannot put color before size. पहिला size आउँछ त्यसपछि color आउँछ. I wear a long red jacket. तपाईले के भन्नु पर्यो? I wear a long red jacket. त्यसलाई हामी के भन्यौ? I wear a long red jacket. This is the correct word. It means that while learning second language, we find ourselves in trouble regarding syntax. We cannot make correct sentences. Sometimes we do not have actual knowledge on odd order. कहिलेकाहीँ हामीलाई odd order को actual knowledge नहुन पनि सक्छ. That's why second language learners, they make error or they have error. They enter into having error in the area of syntax or syntactic correction or syntactic ability. You don't achieve the higher level of syntactic ability in second language if you don't know the tradition and convention of language uses. Next one is semantics. Sometimes you come to misinterpret sentence. कहिलेकाहीँ तपाईहरु वाक्यको अर्थ बुझ्नुहुन्न. Semantics is related to sentence meaning or word meaning. कहिलेकाहीँ वाक्यलाई जस्ताको तस्तै पढ्दा के हुन्छ त त्यसको सेन्टेन्स मिल्दैन. जस्तो यहाँ हेरौँ हामीले semantics भनेको कहिलेकाहीँ वाक्यको मिनिङ, सेन्टेन्स मिनिङ जस्ताको तस्तै बुझ्दाखेरि त्यसको अर्थ अर्कै लाग्न सक्छ. semantics भनेको के हो? जस्तो यहाँ हेरौँ. नाउ सी हियर, कुनै एउटा सेन्टेन्स बनाऊ. I married my wife. मैले मेरो श्रीमतीसँग बिहा गरेँ. यो सेन्टेन्सको कुनै अर्थ छैन. Who did you marry? I married my wife. Whom did you marry? I married my wife. तपाईले यो वाक्यले कुनै इन्फर्मेसन दिन्छ? नेपाल इज अ कन्ट्री. यो वाक्य हेर्नुस् त. नेपाल इज अ कन्ट्री. नेपाल भनेकै देश हो. अब इज कन्ट्री किन भन्नु पर्यो? काउ इज एन एनिमल. यस्ता वाक्यहरूलाई अंग्रेजीमा के भनिन्छ भने these sentences they don't provide actual information and sometimes we have trouble. The corpse is alive. लास जिउँदै छ. The corpse is alive. लास जिउँदै छ. यो वाक्यको अर्थ के हो? The corpse is alive. When it is to be used, if a dead person awakes from the tomb, चियानबाट जलाइरहेको बेलामा त्यो मान्छे उठ्यो भने you say the corpse is alive. तर यस्ता वाक्यहरू पनि we often come to use this type of sentences. Cow is an animal. I married my wife. Nepal is a country. The corpse is alive. Especially see this fourth sentence. The corpse is alive. This sentence loses this sentence lacks some semantic value, but the sentence can be used when a dead person wakes up from the place where he is about to be cremated, हैन? त्यस्तो बेलामा के भयो त यसलाई हामी प्रयोग गर्छौं। त्यसैले pragmatics भनेको social and cultural relations. Every language embodies social and cultural aspects. If language does not match cultural background, your language turns out to be unacceptable or inappropriate one. Language functions. कहिलेकाहीँ तपाईले एउटा सिचुएसनमा अर्को ग्रामर बोल्दिनुहुन्छ। Would you mind helping me? Yes, I mind. यस्तो एन्सर दिन मिल्दैन। तपाईलाई कसैले सोध्यो, if someone says you, would you mind helping me? Would you mind helping me भनेर सोध्यो भने yes, I mind भन्न भएन कि। हेर्दाखेरि यो एक्सिलरी भर्बबाट सुरु भएको yes no क्वेशन देखिन्छ। Yes, I mind यसरी भन्न खोजेको हो। Would you mind helping me? Would you mind helping me? Yes, I mind. No, we don't respond. We don't respond to this statement in this way. Would you mind helping me? It is a kind of request. It is a request, but here you find question mark. That's why there you find some mismatching relationship between form and function relationship. Form function relation means एउटा खालको प्रश्न भइदिन्छ तर त्यसले अर्कै काम गर्छ। Would you mind helping me? It is not a question. It is a kind of request, and to make it polite, there is a question mark. That's why in second language learning, we often find ourselves in big trouble. We have problem in the areas of pronunciation. We have problem in morpheme. We don't know spelling rules. We don't know syntax, sentence making rules. We have problem in semantics. We have problem in language functions. We have problem in form function relationship. We have problem in cultural relation between language. If you use any language beyond cultural practices, it is something wrong. Pragmatics ले के भन्छ बुवा घर आयो। बुवा घर आयो भन्न मिल्छ। कहिलेकाहीँ हामी स्कुल कलेज पढ्दा नेवार विद्यार्थीले के भन्नुहुन्छ सर आयो भन्नुहुन्छ। सरलाई आयो भन्न मिल्छ मिल्दैन नि? We don't say it. सर आयो भन्नुहुन्छ। We are teachers. We think and we believe they must respect the teachers. It is a social practice. It is a tradition, and it is some kind of conventional social values. You must use the word of respect to your teachers or to the people who are senior to you. But the problem is that sometimes students say "sorayo." In this case, there we don't find proper matching between syntax and pragmatics aspects. Vakya mildaima, sentence mildaima. Structural correctness is not all in all. Structurally, anything can be correct, but every sentence structure that must represent social and cultural values as well. That's why where we make errors, where we have error means second language learners, they have error in the area of spellings, pronunciation, word order, use of vocabulary, punctuation marks sometimes we have problem in punctuation marks, form function relationship, pragmatics aspects, morpheme, syntax structure, sentence structure, form function relation, and language functions. These are the areas in which people they come to make error. That's why what are the areas of mistakes in second language learning भनेर आयो भने यो कुरालाई ध्यान दिनु। अब अर्को क्वेशन छ process of error analysis. What are the process of error analysis or steps of error analysis? यो क्वेशन्सलाई म भोलि टिक गर्छु। What are the steps